morning everybody, and welcome to a very wet and windy road race retro video. Today is a video that I'm quite excited about. I am somebody who has always loved the hot hatch, something that I've always been close to and something that I was brought up in. So for me, it's something that we always try and buy, and it's a market that we know very, very well. We've owned a lot over the years personally, and we bought and sold a lot. So when somebody comes along with a Renault Clio Williams 2, as you can imagine, it does get me quite excited. It's this kind of car that we love buying. Well, I say we love buying. It depends what kind of condition it's in. Now, we've had a quick conversation. We've got a connection through Facebook of a gentleman in a local village, which is actually at Alnwick, which is about, I think it's about an hour and a half north of us, a little seaside town in the northeast. And this little particular Clio Williams has been tucked away in a garage since 2021. The chap who's owned the car's owned it since 2015. We got the reg, we've done some background checks, we know it's HPI clear, we know it passed an MOT in 2021, and the guy's basically said after the last MOT, he just parked it in his garage, lost interest, and it's been there ever since. At this particular point, the conversation didn't go much further. The chap was happy to give us his price and told us he's very firm on the price, and if we weren't happy to pay that today, we wouldn't be able to own the car, and we're quite fine with that. It gives us a starting point, and we know where the guy is, and ultimately, once we see the car and look at his price tag, we know if it's worth us getting involved and if there's a margin in the car or not. Now, the exciting part of this video is, or not so exciting depending on how it goes, we do not know the mechanical condition of this car. We don't know what the paint works like. Most importantly, with these Williams 2s, which I'm sure if you're watching this and you're into the Renault hot hatch scene, you'll know these Williams just rot like there's no tomorrow. Sometimes there's nothing left of the floor at all. So we're going into this with an open mind and open eyes. We will be checking everything properly, but the most important thing for us is paint condition and floor condition, because the last thing we want to do today is get into a restoration project. So let's get on and let's see what it's like. I've got my fingers crossed and high hopes for this little car, so let's hope it isn't a basket case. Seems as if we aren't the only ones on the road who loves a classic. I'll give it to this guy. He's braver than I am. It's freezing cold. What a legend. We're nearly at the chap's place now, and he tells us he built a garage for the Clio to live in. I think this is it here with the van on the drive, so let's have a look if we can see it. There she is. Right, so as you can see, obviously we're at the guy's house now. We had a big crack this morning, and he's cool with us, said, listen, we are going to do a video, would you mind just leaving the door open? This guy's right as rain. So he said, yeah, I'll just leave it where it lives, go and have a look. So let's show you for the first time. So before I show you it, this was just like an old council garage with a single door, and the guy actually built this to put the Clio into when he first bought it in 2015. So it's been sat in here since 2021. So us going in here and pulling it out will be the first time it's been out since then. So just look when it looks dry at least, doesn't it? So there it is, our little Williams. Go back and work this. Go that way.
A few moments later.
So, not the next part of the video that we actually hoped for. A slightly disappointed Triple R team today. We haven't managed to secure the Clio Williams. We're just on the way back now from viewing it. Lovely guy that had the car. To be fair, we felt like it was almost everything that he said it was. Whether it's just our keen eye and it's things that he hasn't noticed, I don't know. But to us, we picked up on a few things, only a few small areas, but it was things that were missed off on his description of the car. I had made a phone call to him this morning before we set off to get it, and he had explained things in a little bit more detail. Now, what we've done is, as said, the guy asked not to be bid, so we just politely asked him before we left, would you like us to leave you a bid? So that's what we've done. We've made him what we've classed to be a sensible offer, and we've left that with him. We also know in the background, his missus, who was nice enough to make us a cuppa, is actually nagging him, saying that, you know, we're moving house, we haven't got the room for this car. This car actually needs to go no matter what. We explained the pitfalls of advertising, obviously, on the open market, which these cars can be very, very hard to sell. So obviously Dave will pan round. The truck is empty, and we're just hoping that he kind of accepts our bid, really. We've got to give it a couple of days. We said, listen, you know, we'll give it the weekend, worst case scenario. If not, we'll kind of remove our interest. If you do want us to come back for it, do let us know. Was the car terrible? Definitely not. It was in very, very good shape. We viewed a lot of Williamses over the last probably 2 or 3 years, I would have said, and this was definitely one of the better ones. But the price we felt was a little bit strong for the way the car was currently sat. So unfortunately, I'm sorry to disappoint everybody, we haven't managed to secure the Clio Williams today. But will our bid be accepted? We don't know. But for now, that's it. No Williams on the back of the truck today.
So we're back in the truck. A bit of deja vu. Where are we off to today, and
We're off to get a Clio Williams, aren't we? Bid accepted, new date, new coffee, new vape, new hat, new Clio Williams on the back of the truck. The man accepted our bid. As you can tell from the attitude, it's slightly more upbeat than the last clip. We are 2 miles away, and the next video will be at the Clio Williams in its little garage, and we'll be loading them on the truck. So as you can see now, obviously slightly more relaxed that we've secured the car. It's on the back of the truck. We tried to have a bit of crack with the guy that was selling it today, but unfortunately, obviously, he is buying a new house, hence the reason why the Clio Williams had to go. And we've had to do a quick ditch collection, pay the guy, get load up the truck, and get away. But as you can tell from my smiley face today, obviously, I'm absolutely over the moon to have secured this car. And you'll see in the last clip with Dave loading the video on, things like this to me are very special because of the nostalgia that they create. I'm 40 now, so for me, in my early 20s, which probably is the same as a lot of people on YouTube, I was in the Max Power days, and the Clio Williams was always about in those days. And when I put the CD player on there, there's my phone, and I'll just knock that off. When I put the CD player on there, the first song that come on is Where's Your Head At, which to me was an old school tune, and this is the time when I was into these. So this is the reason why these cars in today's world are so popular now. It's the nostalgic effect. People want to relive the youth, and what a car the Williams is. But yes, we're very happy today. So on the way back to HQ, and see if we can find a little buyer for this Williams. So here we are. Obviously, we have got the Williams back to HQ now after securing it. We're going to roll it off, put it in the unit, and I thought, what better way to finish the video than to go around and basically show you some of the fantastic details of the Williams and why these cars were so special. Some of the features that these cars have, like the little dials on the dash, the seats, the blue carpets. Modern cars, you just do not get that level of quality and detail anymore. So let's get it off, let's get it in, and then we'll show you around it. Let's hope it starts. I'm sure it will. I think the battery's good. Sweet as a nut. Listen to that. There's those period tunes I mentioned earlier on in the video. We'll just keep her straight. She'll come off nice and easy, hopefully. Just hear the exhaust scraping. There we are. And that is us off. So we'll start with some small details, obviously, on the interior. The Williams interior was an absolute masterpiece. These were a very recognisable seat, and even after all these years, as you can see, it has aged very, very well. As said, it is the small attention to detail that kind of makes these cars, the little W in the seats for the Williams. The bolsters were always extra large, yet these seats were quite supple and quite soft. And the material that Renault used initially, when you first feel that material, it's like very soft, almost like carpety. You would think maybe over time that would have worn, but as you can see, the seats are in very, very good condition. And these were always one of my favourite old school seats to sit in. If you've had the pleasure of sitting in a Williams, you'll know just how comfortable these seats are. I genuinely, over all the cars that we've had, I don't think I've sat in a better seat than a Williams seat. Even at the back, again, it's these little details, blue seat belts, same seats in the back in beautiful condition. Those have aged very, very well. The rear pop-out windows were always a cool little touch. I know when I had Clios back in the day, I would always have those windows open when I was out cruising. Into the actual interior itself, we've got a period, what looks like a kind of Momo aftermarket wheel. That definitely wouldn't beat our taste, and somebody can definitely swap that out, but that's there nevertheless. Old school head unit. I'm sure if you're looking in here, you'll recognise those kind of mods from back in the day. People always put these big door speakers. Again, when these cars are going back to originality, that won't be great for whoever's going to buy the car. Obviously, you will have to change those, I would imagine. They do still sound well, believe it or not. The little window switches, these were kind of all big and clunky and heavy duty. Obviously, the quality of the interior carries on to the door guards again. These have just worn very, very well. They're spot on. Blue clocks. Again, feature-wise, these are the kind of things that I love about the Williams. Those blue clocks are unmistakable. Really, really nice. And those three little dials in there, again, were little touches that I always loved about the Williams. Dash areas are all good in the little car as well. Again, it's aged very well. The blue carpet sets, again, beautiful condition for the age of the car. Considering they've had no mats in, the car's kept its colour. And I think those look absolutely cracking. So that's the interior as well, and that's obviously what we like about them. These are the little details that kind of make a Williams. We'll show you the engine bay and show you what that's aged like and what it's like under there as well. On the last little bit about the Williams and the detail, obviously most important is the heart of the car, the engine. These were a rev-happy, fun little car. And for the age of the car, I think the engine bay, also the same as the rest of the car, has actually aged very, very well. I mean, don't get me wrong, the gold rocker cover definitely isn't our taste, and I doubt it would beat anybody else's taste. But obviously that can be changed over time. But if you look at the size of the little 2-litre 16 valve in the engine, there's not a lot of room. The inlet's almost touching the front scuttle panel, which is mad. But again, that's testament design back in the days. They basically tried everything to put as much power in these little hot hatches as possible. But if you look at the little details, which I'll obviously get Dave to walk you around, if you'll just go at the front of the bonnet, and then you can see obviously the scoop at the front of the bonnet. This obviously forced air into the engine bay just to keep it cool, and you can see obviously it's got the working vent there. These are classic things and classic designs that back in the day that made these things really cool. I know a lot of these modern cars at the moment do have these working vents in, but at the time this kind of thing was not unheard of, but it was new. And these, obviously the Renault designers were pushing for something a little bit different, and that is overall what I like about the Williams. There's so many lovely little features, like the interior I showed you with the Williams logos, the blue dials, the bonnet vent, how they pack the engine into the bay. I just feel like modern car makers now have lost a lot of that desire that make these old school hot hatches special. But that's the last part of the video. We've thoroughly enjoyed buying and selling the Clio Williams. We have got a buyer for this car now, which is developed over the last couple of days. he is literally ready to take on the project and make this what it deserves to be. Once again, from the team Road Race Retro, thank you very much for staying tuned. We hope you enjoy this video. We appreciate any comments. You know, we're always open for improvement. If there's things that you've seen that you've liked, let us know. If there's negatives, again, let us know. You know, we can take criticism, and overall we are here for you and to make the channel interesting. From the team, thanks again.